As the sun rises over Amsterdam on the seemingly ordinary morning of May 19, 2021, no one could have predicted that the city's tranquil routine would be shattered by a heist so daring that it would go down in history as the Netherlands' most notorious crime. The morning was marked by an average start as the peaceful city of Amsterdam started its day with routine affairs, with businesses being carried out typically, but it soon became the host of one of the most notorious heists in the history of the Netherlands, with a grand amount of over 14.5 million euros at stake. The day started as an ordinary one, like all others, for Schoene Edelmetall, which was considered one of the three pioneers of gold trading globally, having had a fortune of assets since 1739. The company received a renowned security Brinks truck at its warehouse in Noord Amsterdam at around 2:06 p.m. This truck was reportedly carrying transportation of gold, silver, and platinum bars worth over a staggering 67 million euros. It was gold from jewelers and other valuable items. I have also heard the amount of 50 million euros. All was going normally and well, until around 2:30 when everyone at the warehouse heard tires screeching outside the main entrance. A black Porsche rammed backward through the warehouse door, tearing it down, followed by a dark Audi station wagon and a Porsche Cayenne. This was where the real drama began.
21. Op die dag wordt een edelmetaalbedrijf aan de Meeuwlaan in Noord overvallen. De politie toont nu beelden van die overval. Die dag worden er 6 mannen aan.
An alarming situation arose for the authorities and employees in the warehouse as 10 armed robbers, each carrying a Kalashnikov, entered and held every single person responsible for the transportation of the assets hostage, all except for one person who managed to hide. The warehouse was guarded by a robber outside the premises, who fired with his rifle occasionally to repel the citizens away from the scene. He also deployed an automatic weapon into the air that could prevent the forces from entering the area. While he was guarding the outside, the others were busy tying all the employees together and covering their faces with masks, and after that, the robbers filled the precious metal bars into the cars they had stolen for this plan. As per the reports, they deposited over 800 kilograms of gold worth 14.5 million euros inside their vehicles before racing to their next destination. The Dutch police arrived at the crime scene half a minute later, after which they quickly got onto the robbers' convoy, which was heading towards the Nieuwe Waterweg. The news of this infamous chase spread like wildfire within an hour of the swipe and run event, and soon started getting worldwide coverage as the whole nation witnessed the robbers fleeing away, damaging nearby vehicles, and lighting the neighborhood cars on fire to keep the police away from them after they found themselves being chased. Once outside the city, the robbers quickly headed towards a small village in Broek Waterland, where they promptly exchanged their old vehicles with a new one, a black Renault Megane. They ended up in the backyard of an abandoned house, from where they continued afoot in the meadows. However, the police were not going to let this massive heist off the hook that early, and they soon intercepted them, after which a fierce firing exchange was witnessed by many locals in the area as the robbers fled from their vehicle on foot, with the police following them closely.
Ik dacht, het is gewoon een brand. Van de politie. Al die schapen.
Ja, dat gaat niet meer. Dat moet wel weggebleven.
As a result of the encounter in Broek, the Dutch police were able to shoot down a 47-year-old French robber and injure 2 Belgian robbers running away, who were arrested shortly after, along with 6 French and Belgian suspects. Later on, a hidden suspect was also captured from a nearby garbage dumpster who was hiding while the police were searching the perimeter.
Is het zwart?
Ja.
Als ze dat wapen maar hebben.
The remaining robbers fled the scene, reaching their second getaway car, an Audi A4, which took them to Damon before being abandoned and set on fire. From there, the robbers used their third getaway vehicle, a BMW licensed from Belgium, parked under a tunnel. The police tracked down the car heading towards Rotterdam-Zuid. Reports came that the car stopped at an apartment in the vicinity, which was rented a couple of weeks earlier. The remaining 4 suspects remained at the place for some time before fleeing away with over 4.2 million euros worth of loot, a portion of what they had taken from the warehouse. Following the robbery, the vast network of intelligence and security authorities, including the Dutch, Belgian, and French police, as well as the Public Prosecution Service, got active instantly and started rounding up the suspects and close acquaintances of the robbers. According to the reports, 13 suspects, comprising of a mix of Belgian folk and French folk, were involved in the robbery. During the first encounter, the police were able to shoot down a French robber and arrest 6 other robbers, while they also captured 1 suspect hiding in the garbage dumpster near the shootout scene. Later on, the police also detained a suspicious vehicle and arrested the driver, who was possibly stationed by the robbers near the second getaway car after they burnt it to get rid of any evidence. Another arrest was made in the Rotterdam-Kralingen on the A16, near the residence of the robbers in Rotterdam-Zuid. However, the remaining ones escaped from their apartment the following afternoon. The suspect was driving a blue Renault and circling the area in his car, which caught the attention of the special arrest team and led to his arrest. The arrests continued, as the police arrested 5 more suspects from Belgium, France, and Guinea over a year. This robbery was considered one of the most high-profile heists in the history of the Netherlands, as it was executed by a massive circle of more than 10 robbers from Belgium and France. Furthermore, the theft occurred in many expensive vehicles, including an Audi A4, a BMW, a Renault Megane, and Porsche Cayenne. The robbers had modern and heavy weaponry for the heist, and they even deployed an automatic weapon system into the air to prevent the police from reaching the warehouse while they were committing the crime. They're criminals from the upper echelons of the criminal circuit. The details were confirmed by the police chief Frank Paul in a Dutch program, Nieuwsuur, who thought that this heist was not attempted by some common criminals, but was the work of some upper-class people who had sufficient resources to see it through. He further stated, "It reminds us of the violent robberies from 2011 by the Scarface gang, which also involved a lot of violence. We often see this with groups of French or Belgian background. We are now also looking into the direction of Wallonia." The Public Prosecution Service filed for an 18-year sentence for the arrested and accused men from the Amsterdam truck heist. For the 8th accomplice, who was detained on the accusation of a minor part in the robbery, a sentence of 5 years was filed. More than 3 years have passed since the famous heist of the Amsterdam Noord gold truck. Although the police and security authorities have successfully arrested the suspects and recovered more than half the looted gold from the Schone Edelmetals warehouse, there is still 4.2 million euros worth of gold that still needs to be recovered, and that is a big amount. So, the questions about its recovery still linger in the streets of Amsterdam, along with the questions about who the real masterminds behind this notorious theft are. These questions will continue to haunt the Dutch for a very long time.